Okay. The program manager for that department is Maya Mitchell. And if you hold on, I'll transfer you.
Oh, that would be outstanding again. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
This is Maya. May I help you?
Yes, Maya. This is Aaron Ray down here in Tucson, Arizona. I'm at my office, and I have to disclose to whoever I'm calling out of my state that my office records incoming and outgoing calls. With that being said, I was just transferred to you, and they said that you're like the supervisor kind of person, in different words they said, of the Tucson, Arizona area, and you would know more about the accreditation with the Tucson Police Department. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm the program manager for that agency.
Okay, great. Hey, in your standards that you set, I'm sure they have to stick to their policies, or maybe even make some of them adapt to your standards. But if they don't stick to their policies that your standards would mandate that they're supposed to abide by, what can happen to the employees or the organization and their accreditation?
Well, if the policy that you're talking about is in compliance with our standards and they are not following their policy, then when the assessors come and they find this out, they will report on that they're not following their policy, and the commission will review that issue at the conference. And we have conferences 3 times a year, and Tucson will be going to the conference in November of this year to be reviewed for reaccreditation.
Is that conference open to the public?
Yes.
Oh, great. I'm going to be there. Okay. For an example, I don't know if you like people to get too technical. The internal affairs guys down there said on the record that they do not accept anonymous complaints, thereby stalling and putting a stumbling block in front of a complaint that could have been anonymous at that time. And then coming full circle, I just filed an internal affairs complaint, 1 of 5, against these guys, and they whitewashed the complaint, even though their policy says, I got it here somewhere, but it says something like anonymous complaints pose a significant investigative challenge but shall be accepted. And so right away, if this is what they're doing to people besides me, they're not listening to all the public's concerns of things that need to be addressed. And I have this documented as a policy violation, and they whitewashed my IA complaint against that IA officer and said the information, this letter is to inform you that the complaint has been closed. A review of all information available shows nothing, and I reserve the right to be interviewed and supplement with additional information. And they just closed the case before they could interview me because I have such a good case that I can prove with a bunch of audio of those guys on the record. And they straight up said, and this is just one example, no, we don't take anonymous complaints. Oh, are you sure? No, we don't. I got them twice. And then their policy says the alternative, so they, in my mind, they're not following their own policy. So I'm going to probably order your accreditation book for the $45 plus shipping and handling and see what that says. And I kind of think I should address this to you guys so you know what's going on in the lower ranks, that they're not completely writing stuff down or telling the whole stories. And
well, I can tell you right now that, I mean, you don't have to order a manual. I can tell you we have a standard, and we have a standard that says that a written directive requires all complaints against the agency or its employee to be investigated to include anonymous complaints. So if you want what you're talking about to be, I don't know, addressed, then I suggest that you send in a formal letter to the commission so that it can be reviewed before they are reviewed for reaccreditation in Tucson. Now, if what will happen is this: if we get that and we review it and we go back to the agency and we say, okay, we received this from someone, and then let's say they show us proof that, yeah, they got the complaint and they investigated it and they did what you said. They said it's closed. We investigated and that's it. Okay, then that is their procedures that they take, and at that point what you would need to do is have legal counsel into your complaint to go further with it, because the commission is an investigative agency to make sure that the issues are resolved as far as in favor of the complainant. It's just to make sure that you are following procedures, which is you're going to accept those complaints.
So if I was going to get legal counsel, would policeabuse.com suffice, because they have an expert police misconduct witness who's like a law professor, retired detective, and he's trained in takedown tactics, everything, officer standards, and he could probably shed some light on the subject. Would that be acceptable?
Would that be acceptable as your legal counsel, you're saying?
Yes, they have a whole staff of attorneys, and he's an expert witness, and that's that's what they do.
If they can represent you and they have all that, then I would think that would be acceptable for you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, would it be acceptable for you guys to hear from an outside organization that documents police misconduct nationwide?
Well, what I'm saying is that would be acceptable for you as your legal representation.
Okay, and I'd just like to note that I've done fairly well without legal representation. It's just that these guys won't listen to me, look at their policies close, look at the laws I've articulated, and it really goes into obstructing criminal investigations. I've taken complaints to them, they won't take them. It's interesting. They're supposed to treat anybody the same as anybody else, and I have felony complaints against some sheriff's department personnel, and the crimes happened in the city limits. I have the Attorney General telling me to take it back to TPD on the record, because the Attorney General says they need a mandated written referral to get jurisdiction from the TPD. So when I take it back to TPD, they whitewash my complaint completely and entirely without interviewing any witnesses of my side. Probably interviewed their officers, but we know where that went. It's a one-sided story.
Right. Well, again, if you want us to the commission itself to be aware
I do, and I will.
Of your complaint, then I'd suggest you submit a letter in writing about your issue and reference to them, not with them saying that they don't investigate anonymous complaints, and we will give it to the agency and let them know that we received it for feedback.
That sounds outstanding. I would appreciate that, and I will get on the ball today and start writing up something. In the alternative, if you guys want to get a heads up on what is going on down here in Tucson with that department. Oh, another question real quick. Are you guys, is the Pima County Sheriff Department accredited? Do you guys handle that one too?
What agency did you say?
Pima County Sheriff's Department is right here in Tucson, Arizona.
Not that I know of. Will you spell the first name of that agency that you're saying?
P-I-M-A.
E-I-M-A?
P as in Paul. Pima.
Oh, I'm sorry. No.
No, that's not you guys? Or they're not accredited at all, maybe?
No, they're not with us.
Okay, but there's other accreditation organizations, so that even though they're not with you, they still might be somewhere else?
We're the only international and national law enforcement accreditation agency. There are some states do have state accrediting agencies. I'm not sure if Arizona does or not, but states do have it.
Okay. Anyways, my name is Aaron Ray, and if you wanna, if you guys down there in your offices wanna check out more about me, I run the Tucson Tyranny Response Team. Just Google Tucson Tyranny Response Team. It'll take you to one of my videos on my YouTube channel. Once you get to my channel, you will see all kinds of undercover hidden audio. I'm an investigative journalist, and for the last couple years I have been investigating, so to speak, and I'm getting ready to break loose with a pretty big story. And I might even use the policeabuse.com, because they're a nationwide organization that documents this stuff. They want to be made aware of what's going on. And I thought I should go to the top brass, which was almost you guys, because you guys oversee your checks and boundaries in that 400 plus standards thing. And so I'm just trying to be on autopilot kind of here. But and stay afloat and keep everybody informed so that they can know. And when is the day? November. When are you guys going to be here in Tucson?
Well, the assessors already came to Tucson. They came to Tucson in August.
Oh.
And when they were there, they took phone calls from the public, and they also had a public hearing for anyone to come and talk to them and discuss any issues, which would have been an ideal time for you to submit this. But this is really after the fact. So what you do now is you submit in writing to me,
to you,
what your issues are. And, since we haven't finalized the stuff with Tucson, I'll make sure that the commission reviews that before they are reviewed for reaccreditation.
Okay, let me get a mailing address, or do you want me to send you email?
Yeah, you can send me email, that's fine.
Okay, do you have an email address?
It's M. Mitchell, MITCHELL, at CALEA.org. mmitchell@CALEA.org.
Let me call it back to you, make sure I got it. MITCHELL at CALEA.org.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna get you some paperwork. Actually, it'll probably be a lot of paperwork because I have multiple. This is what I do. I document police misconduct, and I have multiple issues I'd like to bring to your guys' attention with this department. And then, we'll take it from there because somebody's.
Just if you could please make it as brief as possible. Your paperwork.
Brief as possible.
If you have like case logs or I don't know a whole bunch, I'm not gonna need all of that. I'm gonna need what your issues are, and then I would have to reference it to what standards I can put it to the commission.
Okay, right. Hey, well, do you know in your standards offhand? This is kind of a generalized question, but it's something that I experienced. If let's see.